So, why the name Champ?
I earned that name. What I mean by earn that, I mean I had to really I had to get nitty and gritty. You know what I'm saying? When coming up, you know what I'm saying, as a little you feel me? I used to always be versatile with my hands.
Yes,
So
sir.
if we going more in depth, you know what I'm saying, when I got into the brotherhood, that's when I earned that name.
Amen. What's up, everybody? My name is Jesse, and welcome to the Jess Takes a Village podcast, where we focus on regular people who have used their education, whether it be formal, vocational, or even life experiences, to propel their lives in a positive direction. Ladies and gentlemen, to my left, we have one of the most focused, astute, sturdy, relaxed individuals. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Chan to the podcast. What's funny is we were like just recording and I forgot to put the phone on airplane mode.
Yeah, nah, it's good.
So we're
it's
just
good.
gonna just basically start off where we left off at.
For
So
sure.
one thing to me that stands out mostly about Champ is you've always been a mentally sound person.
Sure.
And I know like in the times that we've talked, you've always connected you being mentally sound to trials and tribulations.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that as adults, you know, we go through trials and tribulations on a regular.
Right.
But as children, as far back as you can remember, do you
Mhm.
remember what was like your first instance of trials and tribulations?
Yeah, man. My first encounter with trials and tribulations as a young age was just my father not being around. I haven't seen my father since I was 3. You know what I'm saying? And the crazy thing about that, you know, life experiences and choices. You know what I'm saying? He
Absolutely.
had choices to make. You know what I'm saying? And when, you know, you got certain situations or certain environments within the family or different families where they'll, you know, you'll have the mother bad
Absolutely.
talk the father or whatever
Absolutely.
the case may be.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
My mother has never done that. She has never had anything bad to say about my father. You know what I'm saying? No matter what the circumstances was with them. And
So it
you
sounds
know,
like the mental soundness was hereditary.
yeah,
You got
yeah,
that from your mom and
for
it
my
passed
mom,
on to you.
for sure, for
Absolutely.
sure. And it was more so one of those. She put it in a perspective of, well, your father was a provider.
Mm-hmm.
He's a protector,
Mm-hmm.
and this is what I want you to see him as only. You know what I'm saying?
So
So
paint somebody in a positive image,
yeah,
even though the world around them
oh, for
is
sure,
negative.
of course.
Now, you spoke about provider and protector. What do
Yeah.
those two words mean to you?
It means everything to me. It's, especially me being a father. That's
Yeah,
that's that's the that's the bread and butter. That's the roots of being a father, of being
absolutely.
a man. You know what I'm saying? And it stand out more than anything else in this world.
So, tough question, Tom.
What's up?
Without having a father around, as
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned, due to, different circumstances and situations,
Mm-hmm.
how do you know how to be a father?
That's the thing, bro. You don't.
Okay.
Nobody knows how to. It's no tutorial. It's no fuck. Excuse my language.
No, you good, good.
Yeah, there's
Good.
no guidelines to this shit.
No.
There's no you just
But how do you gauge?
you
Because I always want to, like, how do you gauge you're doing a good job? Because I
how
tell
they
myself, not to cut you, but I always tell myself,
mhm,
so I'm a teacher for a living,
mhm,
right? When I was in the fourth grade
mhm,
or fifth grade, because that's when I started losing my marbles. When I was in the fifth
mhm.
grade,
Yeah, yeah,
I knew what I wanted as a teacher. I wanted a teacher to talk to me as a person. I
yeah,
wanted a teacher to be cool. I wanted to be able to high five my teacher.
yeah,
I wanted my teacher to be able to buy us pizza, whenever we wanted.
right,
So because I liked that, when I became a teacher, I became that.
right.
I
Of course,
became the cool teacher. I
you
became the
manifested
pizza.
it.
Exactly.
Hmm.
So without your pops being present, how did you gauge like fatherhood? Like, do you say,
From
here, we eating popsicles today, don't tell mommy. We eating McDonald's today, don't tell mommy, because you wanted it as a kid, or like what was that like?
um, damn. I mean, I can't say I wanted that as a kid because I
Mm-hmm.
didn't really know what to look for.
Absolutely.
But it was more of a my environment growing up when I see my homeboys. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? They all grew up in single parent households as well.
got it.
You know what I'm saying? The mothers kind of was the fathers. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
The grandmothers, the
The
aunties.
double role. Right, right,
Yeah, you
right,
know what I'm
right, right,
saying?
right.
So it wasn't until I jumped off the steps
Yes.
and I saw, okay, when I got that compare and contrast, and I was like, I really saw what it was, and I was like, all right, you know what? I need to.
So you use the examples of your friends in your neighborhood
You
to
got
gauge
to.
your success,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So let's step away from fatherhood for a bit,
Mhm.
because becoming who you are in life
Mhm.
is so important, because as a kid you have to be able to see that far, right?
Right.
You have to be able to say, okay, this is what I don't want to be,
Mhm.
and this is what I want to be. This
That's
is who
true.
I am.
Yeah.
Now, you're 10, 11, 12 years old. What
Mhm.
are some of the things that like pre-teen champ is into? What are you doing for fun?
Shit.
No, you good. You good. Talk, talk, talk. You good.
Shit. At 12 years old,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm just being
Yeah,
frank,
talk, talk, talk.
yeah, I was, kind of active in the streets. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Um, my mother, she's a hustler. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And her hustle was the 9 to 5.
Okay.
So she'll be going 7 in the morning, 8 in the
Mm-hmm.
morning. I get dropped off to school, and
Right.
I won't see my mom till 11:30, 12 in the night. You know what I'm saying? So guess where I'm at?
You're outside.
I'm outside.
Because there's nothing really to occupy the time in the house,
That's a fact.
And being outside that early, obviously you're gonna be prone to, a lot of things, right?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
gonna be prone to being, different situations.
Yup. Yup.
The environments could shift, there's altercations.
That's a fact.
But one of the best parts, and I'm not telling, the listeners, I'm not saying, hey, listen, go into the streets or whatever,
Don't go into the
but
streets.
I feel as if you learn a survival mechanism that allows you to just be able to adjust wherever you go to in life, just from being outside in the streets, right? Because when you start to develop
Mhm.
the street sense,
Right.
you view the world a lot differently than the regular average Joe, right?
In a sense, because it really,
You are allowed to disagree, but like, tell me.
yeah, in a sense, being when you all right, so take our environment.
Right.
And when I say our environment, you know
Yeah,
our, you know what
absolutely.
I'm saying? It's more, this is what we know. We're bred into this. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
if I go a little more in depth, this is systematically done.
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like we learn to adapt and navigate. You know what I'm saying? We build our own villages amongst each other.
No
And
pun intended.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's more of a, yeah, bro, it's fucking treacherous. It's landmines. It's
It
trap set.
is. And when he means landmines, it means, just like in war, when you step, you never know what a landmine is. And
Yeah.
that's kind of like when you go outside and you try to navigate yourself into the
Yeah.
real world.
Yeah, real
You
talk.
never
Real
know
talk.
what step you take, what career path you take,
Mm-hmm.
what opportunity from meeting people, engaging
That's a
people.
fact.
You never really know what the next step is. They always say every time we have a plan, God laughs,
Nah,
right?
true.
Because we sit there and we tell ourselves, okay, by this age, I'm going to have this, that, and the third.
And it don't pan out that
It
way.
never does. And then when you're at that age, you're like, yo, am I really failing in life?
I mean,
Am I not where I'm supposed to be?
I feel you.
Sometimes, listen, you have some people who are clueless when they're in the moment,
Mm-hmm.
and you have some people who are like active thinkers,
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're outside at this age,
Mm-hmm.
you're 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not making an excuse for you,
Mm-hmm.
but I understand why you were outside,
Yeah.
because there wasn't
No.
anyone inside,
Yeah.
right?
Nah.
So you go outside. Are you getting into trouble
Yeah.
early on in life?
What? Hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? Playing with girls and, you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Running around with the homeboys doing this reckless shit.
nonsense.
Yeah,
That's what we sum it down to. Ladies and gentlemen, it's just nonsense.
just nonsense. You know what I'm
But
saying?
are you aware of consequences?
Not at an early age.
No.
Not at all. You know what I'm saying? You don't think that it could catch up to you. You
You're
know?
almost fearless in that regard, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You say, you know what, I could go outside, I could do
Do
this.
whatever the
There
hell
are
I
no
want.
repercussions.
Yeah, no, not at all. And it's not until those that understanding don't come until later on. When you start so to speak, when your nuts start hanging.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
AKA maturity.
For
Right?
sure, there you go.
Maturity.
And it's like for the most part is it didn't happen to me until I started losing friends. And not in the sense of like, oh wow, I'm not dealing with oh we had an argument or we had an altercation. Nah, we ain't cool no more.
Yeah.
Nah, I mean like people that I came up in the trenches with and
They started passing away.
they
They
no
started
longer
dying.
here and it's just it was shell shocking. Because you don't think that could happen to you.
And I was having a conversation with someone the other day, like, you don't really think at that age only old people can die.
Yeah, so
Like
true.
that's what's sold to us, you know?
Yeah.
Only old people could die.
Mhm.
Only sick people can die. You don't ever think somebody your age.
Yeah.
And to me, when I was younger, what used to scare me was the sudden death.
Mm.
You know, I had a kid I used to tutor.
Mhm.
He's from the other side of the cemetery. I never his name was Rondell Grant. I never forget.
Mm.
Friday we went in Tilden Park. You know, he used to misbehave, always be in the streets. He had like
Yeah.
6 brothers. He goes, you know, Jess, like, I want to play basketball.
Mhm.
And he's sitting there shooting, you know, I'm sitting in the park with him. He laying up the ball. And he goes, yo, Monday, like, I really want to learn how to shoot.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, get some practicing. Not
Yeah,
saying I'm
yeah.
the greatest shooter in the world, but, you
Yeah.
know.
Mhm.
And Monday, I go into work. And my boss is like, I was calling you. And I'm like, yeah, you know, my phone was that I was with. He goes, yo, you spoke to your father? And I'm just like, nah, why?
Yeah.
He goes, Rondell died. I'm like, what you mean he died?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, yeah, you know, he got hit by a car and such and such. I'm like, but yeah, but what do you mean he died?
Yeah.
The scariest thing about that experience for me is Rondell and my younger sister are the same age,
Yeah,
right?
that's
And my
crazy.
younger sister, she's turning 29 in December.
That's a blessing.
And every time my older sister ages, I always think about Rondell because he would have been 29 too, the
Yeah.
same way. And I'm just like, I'm only 3 years older than my sister. And Rondell died as a kid.
Yeah.
So I'm probably like maybe 13, 14.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this is really possible.
Yeah. Show.
Like people, and rest in peace, you know, Rondell. Rest in peace to all of your friends.
Thank you.
But it's just like you don't think it's real
Never
at that point, you know? How'd you cope?
cope. There's no real coping mechanism for it.
And
Honestly,
why you think that is?
we don't have outlets. We don't have resources to you know. There's no. They say it's therapy. There is no therapy. You know what I'm saying, you could vent. You could. You know, you got people that drown in their pain as far as like they'll drink or they'll smoke their
Absolutely.
pain. You know what I'm saying? The pain,
Absolutely.
it may it doesn't go away. You just learn to kind of like push it to the back, kind of.
Bypass it. But the thing is, when you shake a soda,
Mm-hmm.
you can't just open a soda.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna explode. You gotta like you
Yeah.
gotta slowly like release some of that.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise there will be a problem at the end.
For sure.
And I always like to think to myself, you know, why aren't there ways for us to slowly like release this pain into the world? You know, why is it that even as men, why does it we carry, you know, these things with us? You know, we wear everything on our sleeve, but we
Yeah.
don't say anything to anyone. You know, this is why if one of your boys be like, "Yo, what's wrong?" Like, "No, I'm good, I'm chilling." I know anytime I hear I'm chilling, I'm in pain. Help me.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, real talk.
I'm in pain. Help me.
Yeah.
You know, but I was actually when I was in an Uber today, I was telling the driver, I was like, "Hey, you know, men, we're not naturally like this. You know, we're more as a collective than anything else. You know, I always use the example. Let's say me, you, and 10 of the homies.
Yeah.
Let's say we locked in the building for like a weekend.
Yeah.
There's a garbage can and a bunch of paper.
Yeah.
We would literally sit there all weekend trying to see who could shoot that.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And we'll be at peace.
Yeah. It's
You
the
understand?
simplicity of it.
That's the simplicity of it. But it's just like, why is it that in these environments at this young age, we're robbed of this simplicity and then we're still asked by others around us to thrive? You know? Without the simplicity, I don't think we can grow.
True. We need that. You know what I'm saying? The world around us, we already, when we're born, we're not born with the value. We have to create our own value. You know what I'm saying? As men. And being that we don't have that village of men to help us navigate our emotions, help us critical think, help us problem solve. We don't have that. So going out there trying to figure it out, yeah, it's cool. It builds character, it builds strength. But at the same time, having a map will get you further.
Way further.
It's just, oh man.
You know, but and it's like, and I know as you're saying that, you're just having like these flashbacks, you know? And it's just like, you know, sometimes you can't be mad about the things you did before.
Of course not.
Or just self accountable, but you can't be mad about the things you did before.
Right.
When you get to that age of maturity, so you were 12, now let's double, you're in your early 20s. What's that reflection like for you?
I'll be honest with you. Early 20s, I was more so gravitating deeper into my environment and what came in my environment. So, you know, even being able to critical think and problem solve and having all those skill sets in my
Right.
environment and being able to adapt and navigate and maneuver, it was still okay. Let me see what I can draw from this. Let me see what else I can gain from this. How can this promote me to the next level? And it hindered me because it wasn't allowing me to grow in the ways that I needed to grow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And when I really started realizing that was when, you know, my son, he showed me a different light. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing I can say about my kid. I love my kid. That's my
Absolutely.
boy. You know what I'm saying? It's when I showed him the street life. I introduced him to it. Here, look.
Yeah.
And I never glorified it. So what he took from it was, oh nah, that's not it. Oh, he saw, oh, daddy getting calls from the homeboys and this one passing away. This one going to do football numbers. This ain't what I thought it was.
Do you show that level of emotion in front of your son?
Yeah, of course. I tell my son it's good to express yourself. Don't bottle anything. Take me as the learning example. I grew up bottling everything. I grew up masking my emotions. The programming was you got to be tough, you got to be rough, you got to be rugged, you got to be raw because nobody's gonna care about you. That's the real. And it damaged me to the point where I had to do my own self-reflection and my own healing and my own
When
breakdown.
when did
It
you
was
realize that people started caring about you? Because I know for
honestly,
years it probably seems as if maybe they don't, maybe not as much. Maybe the role I'm in, I gotta do the care for them, but
yeah.
who's gonna care about Chin? So when do you realize like, hey, like we got you too? When do you realize that?
When you want to do something destructive and somebody pulls you away, when you want to, you know, when you want to down yourself in a real way, or you thinking negative about yourself, or you thinking negative about your dreams, goals, aspirations, whatever,
Yeah.
anything you're chasing, and they give you a lift, they go, nah, that's not it.
Sometimes we don't realize it's a lift at first.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's met with, oh, like,
yeah,
let me do me. Let me handle what I gotta handle. But like I said, it's a lot of these inadvertent, these cries for help.
yeah,
Sometimes we don't know how much pain we're in.
yeah. True,
A lot of
I
us,
agree.
really need hugs. But we
Yeah,
don't know how to ask for it,
yeah.
and sometimes we don't know how to receive it.
Well, because it comes off as being weak. That's a part of the program.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? It comes off as being, oh, you showing too much emotion.
But the program
Yeah.
was physical conditioning
Hmm.
and mental conditioning.
That's a fact.
But a part of the mental conditioning, which
Hmm.
I feel is more important, if your mind ain't right, your physique ain't gonna be right.
Of course.
So I always say, but even with the mental conditioning, there still needs to be something to aid the mental conditioning. There needs to be something to say, hey, it's okay to feel this way. It's okay to feel guilt. It's okay to feel regret. It's okay to feel confident. It's okay to feel shameful. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? These are a lot of the pieces to the puzzle
Yeah.
that I feel as if we miss early on in life.
Yeah.
But in the same breath, when we realize it, it becomes beautiful.
Yeah.
Because it's like I didn't have to be like this.
True.
And you only hope that you realize it at an early age.
Yeah.
Because at a later age, you may not be able to correct a lot of the things that you've done.
Yeah, I agree. But it's the environment. The environment keeps that perpetuated.
To play devil's advocate,
Yeah.
remove yourself from the environment then.
How?
You know what you're doing is wrong because you're hiding it. Why not change? Devil's advocate. What's your response?
You can't change. You know what I'm saying? The environment, when you box out of resources, you box out of information, it's really hard to maneuver. You can't break change. You can't, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's tough. And like I said, systematically put in place, and I don't want to.
No, talk. Everybody's we're all tuned in.
Whoever.
Somebody got to take that phone off.
Yeah, for sure,
Yeah,
sure.
but
Whoever,
continue.
however it's created, whoever created this standard and this way of life, it's designed this way to keep you boxed in. You know what I'm saying? All right, you could take a look at the neighborhood. The neighborhood may be looking like you know, gentrification kicked off, and
Okay.
we still live in poverty-stricken neighborhoods.
We do.
It's just refined. You know what I'm saying? The system is still the system. You know what I'm saying?
Well, my rebuttal,
Incarceration
my
rates are still
rebuttal, my
high. Yeah.
rebuttal for that is,
Hmm.
and I'm just rebuttaling just for conversation
Yeah, nah,
purposes,
you
but
good. Do you think?
the system is the system.
Mm-hmm.
But we learn the rules,
Mm-hmm.
and if we know how to navigate for foolishness,
Mm-hmm.
why can't we learn to navigate for positivity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the school is still there. It may not be the best school, but you can still apply yourself.
Right.
Because I look at it this way: the system is the system.
Mm-hmm.
But when I look at the system in other countries,
Mm-hmm.
they're people who literally come from the mud,
Yeah.
literally the shack,
Yeah.
the trenches,
Yeah.
one meal maybe for the next 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
How is it they know to navigate and we have more resources than them and we can't? Why do you think that is?
Family, tradition, the culture.
Mm-hmm.
It's just completely. It shapes and molds, and it's when you for example, when you speak on these other countries, you know what I'm
Yes.
saying, they're heavy on togetherness.
Agreed.
They're heavy on, whichever culture it may be.
Absolutely, yeah. Whatever walk of life or walk of faith you're from, there's a level of togetherness.
And it's like it's hard to break that when that's the programming.
But we have that togetherness too. It's just sometimes the togetherness is based on foolishness. Think about it, really. Because listen,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not in the business of pointing fingers.
Right.
But as you get older, accountability is a word for me that just like irradiates.
Mm-hmm.
I did a lot of stupidness as a kid. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I did not have to. I just did it. Why? I wanted to fit in.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to assimilate. I wanted to prove something to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be tough. I always felt as if somebody got to see me fight so they know not to pull my leg. Somebody got to see me get there for me. And sometimes you draw the invisible line in the sand,
Yeah.
and he goes, "I want somebody to cross this line just so I could prove the point."
Yeah.
When you get older, you realize I could have fixed this disagreement with a conversation. I could have just
True.
been like, "Yo, my bad, bro." And sometimes you just gotta apologize just to like avoid the situation, you know.
True.
But prior to,
Depending on the environment.
of course,
Mm-hmm.
of course.
Mm-hmm.
But not to reference what is it? Ice Cube, John Witherspoon, Friday.
Mm-hmm.
You live,
Yeah, you live to see
you
another day.
live.
That's a
And
fact.
that's kind of
Rest
like,
in peace to John
yeah,
Witherspoon.
that's kind of like a lot of the basis for my growth because it's
Yeah.
like now I want to make better decisions. I don't always make them, but I often say, like, when I have these interviews, and I have people like you up here, and you speak so passionately about your life, but you also speak about it in a certain level of conviction, like, you may not be proud to be where you come from, but you're proud of who you are.
Yeah, for sure.
You
For
understand
sure.
what I'm saying?
Of course.
But it's like a lot of the message that we do have to leave for the next generation is you don't have to do this.
That's a fact. What Jay-Z said, a quote from his line, Hope did that, so hopefully you don't have to go through.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a fact. Yeah, that's real. I mean, as a man, bro, it's like when you have, unfortunately, you have to go through that rite of passage.
You do.
And it sucks. It is, and it's almost like hell on earth, you know what I'm saying? Because I used to ask myself the same question when I was going through my extracurricular situations.
Yeah, when
You
you
know
was
what I'm saying?
outside.
I was outside, you know what I'm saying? And when I would have my reflects at night, you know what I'm saying, when I'm laying in my bed, my deep thoughts, and I'd be like, damn, why I gotta go through this shit? Why is this shit happening to me? And then honestly, over the years, as growing into a man, that changed to why not? Why not? Why can't it happen to me? I'm built for it, tough. This is me, this is who I am. I could take anything anybody throws at me, I'm with whatever. But strategically, you know what I'm saying? I got shit to lose. That's the
It's
difference.
different when there's cards on the table, right?
Yeah, bro, for sure.
It's different when there's cards on the table because I feel like when you get to that point of making that sacrifice,
Yeah.
it's always for the greater good.
Mm-hmm.
Martin Luther King always said, "A man who plants a tree but never gets to enjoy the shade is a
Mm-hmm.
special man." Because that's not for you, that's for the next generation.
Exactly.
And I think to myself, Right now, the best thing we could do is impact.
Yeah.
No amount of money.
Nah.
No amount of money could do that.
Mm-mm.
Your impact is what you leave on. What are the things people are gonna say about you when you transition into the next life?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you wanna leave that legacy.
You wanna leave a strong legacy, but one of the best legacies to leave is positive impact. You know? My dad, who's a plumber, he always take me to do side jobs.
Yeah.
And one day we did the job. He's like, come on, let's go. And I was like, Dad, like, she didn't pay you. He's like, nah, let's go. And I was so shocked. Probably like maybe 15, 16. So when we went back to car, we driving home, I'm like, Dad, like, why didn't she pay you?
Yeah.
And he was like, you don't need to take money for everything.
Yeah.
You never know when you're going to need a plate of food. I'm like, what? Didn't ring. Fast forward, I got a little tutoring business. One day I'm starving, man, but I'm on my last, man. I ain't got no pot to piss in. And when I went, I'm tutoring, the little kid's mom, she's like, you hungry? I'm like, yeah, you know, being humble. Humble. I'm like, you know, what? It doesn't matter. I remember she made me eggs and sausages, pause.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yo, I'm eating that meal with a straight face, but inside I'm like boiling.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like not the food, but that's what I needed in that moment.
Yeah.
And I only learned that lesson through positive impact.
Yeah.
From seeing that example.
And it came
full circle.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like you go through all of these things and then you turn around and you talk to your son. And then it's like, how beautiful is that, you know?
Extremely.
How strong is your level of faith for you to just open yourself up to your kid? Just to see if he's going to make the right decision. We hope he'll make the right decision. We pray he makes the right decision. But he looks at you and he goes, nah, that's not for me. In that moment, that level of pride has to be, you know, bigger than this room.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's like, now I know you could think for yourself.
Yeah. It's still some tweakings there.
But only naturally so.
For sure. Yep.
Only so, because it's like the rite of passage.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want you to go through the same hurdles.
Nah.
But when those hurdles come, are you able to adjust? And we go back to mentally sound. We go back to your points earlier, the 2 P's, protector and provider.
Yep.
You know? And I think that right there just adds on to the resume of who Champ is. You know? It adds on to the life resume.
Thank you.
You know? So as we like continue, right? So in your 20s, you delve deeply into the streets.
Yeah.
You know, have you faced any consequences yet besides the loss of loved ones?
Yeah. I mean, as far as like, you know, dealing with law enforcement,
okay.
You know what I'm saying? You know, had a brief, not recently. We stay out of trouble now, you know what I'm saying? We move productively, but yeah, our early 20s, man, Rikers Island, you know what I'm saying? It was here's my take on being incarcerated.
Okay.
It's growing up, that was like gladiator school. That wasn't something to fear. It was a rite of passage. You know, dealing with the streets that come with that, you know. And you know, I took it on the chin like everything else. It wasn't like, I don't know, everybody's experience is different.
Very.
I'll say that. But yeah, it was what they would say when I was, you a tough cookie. That's what they would call that. You a tough cookie. That's what it is.
That environment is very, I don't want to use the word primal.
No, that's
all that. You still got to be fair.
Yeah.
There's a lot of testosterone in one
day.
Yeah. You know, this ain't the example with the garbage kids and you know, kumbaya.
Not at all.
This is survival.
Yeah, but you also got it. Go ahead, finish.
No, I'm just saying this is survival. This is new environment, new rules.
Yeah, a completely new world.
Completely new world. You know. Now, granted, I don't know what that's like. I pray to never know what that's like.
For sure.
But whenever I watch clips of people speaking, it's always kind of like the same. There was a respect thing.
Yeah.
Everything goes back to this word respect. What do you think about that? How was that for you? Do you agree like it was like a respecting within this new environment?
Respect is always earned. It's never just given just because you
Right.
think you know, whatever your mentality is, that nobody cares about that. You have to hold yourself accountable.
Right. There
You
it
have
goes.
to you have to respect people from all different walks of life, and you know, you just fucking you jam packed into this space. You know, people with different ways of living, different understandings, different personalities, mood swings, and it's just you have to learn to navigate.
How do you stay mentally sane?
It's hard, man. You know, in there you have to work out. I'm being honest. You
I
work out, you read. Um, yeah, you survive. Survive, man. You just stay away from the bullshit.
I know some people. I've had like a couple of friends who've been incarcerated,
Mm-hmm.
and I never forget one of my boys going through a really rough time,
Mm-hmm.
living situation, was
Mm-hmm.
bouncing home to home,
Mm-hmm.
and he put up a post on Facebook, and it gave me like goosebumps. He was like, at least in jail, I have my own bed. At least in jail, I have 3 square meals. At least in jail, like I get to just mind my own business. I get to just, be by myself. And,
Damn,
you know, I'm reading that and I'm like, well, what the hell are you talking about? And then
man,
when I
that's
read it
deep.
again,
That's deep. That's
then when I
deep.
read it again, it's like, I'd rather be in there than outside.
That's deep.
Because
That's
at
deep.
least, and he put in the comments, people were like, what? Is everything okay?
Yeah.
He goes, at least when I'm incarcerated, I know exactly who people are.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm just like, shit,
Yeah.
you know?
It's real.
And it's that response is so layered,
Mm-hmm.
you know? You're in need of a home, you're in need of food, you're in need of solitude. Sometimes you can't handle everything that's happening. Sometimes you're
Yeah.
overwhelmed.
Yeah.
You just get to just sit down and reflect.
Yeah.
I'm not an advocate for jail,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm a big advocate for rehabilitation.
Yeah.
Because outside here, especially in New York, we're like this
Yeah.
every day, moving, 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 moving. And it's until we sit down and we just woosah.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, this is what I'm doing.
That's a privilege though. To
Tell us why.
to woosah, the black man don't get the woosah. We don't get to relax. We don't get to chill. We don't get to take the armor off. I've just been able to take little pieces of my armor off here and there. I that's the best way I can.
What Gen Z call it? The soft era.
Yeah, yeah. I look. It's so treacherous out here. Back to the landmines. It's
Absolutely.
you don't you have to stay guarded. You have to stay guarded. You don't know what to expect, so it's better to be ready so you never have to get ready. And it's different from how I'm raising my son from how I was raised. I tell my son, nah, you don't gotta wear no armor. My son go through trials and errors. It's okay. It's learning experiences. Guide him, help him grow.
But you don't ever think you're giving him a cushion that doesn't really exist?
I can't say I'm giving him a cushion. It's more so I let him make the mistakes.
Good.
So once he makes the mistakes,
Right?
and then I come in, not stern, firm. Then I give him the corrective criticism, and I've molded him to be able to handle constructive criticism.
Good.
So he's fine.
And are you at peace with him being fine?
Yeah.
So that's one less thing to worry about when you go out there into the real world,
Can't
right?
say that. Can't even say that because I've also embedded in him that the world don't care nothing about you, bro. And you have to understand that from now. This is me drilling this in his head since he was 4 or 5 years old.
Until you contribute something to the world, I think they'll start to care.
And even that, even if you contribute something to the world, they just
It has to be well accepted by the masses, as you know,
yeah.
the politics involved in that statement. But we literally are training and sending kids out there into the world with sometimes it's unrealistic expectations. You know, the world ain't always peachy.
Meaning what the parents set these expectations?
Anybody sets these expectations.
Okay.
The world isn't always peachy. You know,
True.
one thing the teacher says, whatever grade, you could be whatever you want in life. Agreed. No, agreed.
Mm-hmm.
If you have the support
Yeah.
and a little bit of luck. If you don't
You
have
must
that
have some
support,
great teachers in your.
if I'm saying
Yeah.
I had to become one of those. So
There
I
you
see
go.
it in the classroom. I could tell you who's who and what's what.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I've always noticed, a lot of the kids who get the straight A's and the fours, they have this demeanor.
Yeah.
The kids who get the B's and the C's,
Mm-hmm.
the threes and the twos,
Mm-hmm.
they got all the personality in the world.
Mm.
And I always ask myself, what do you think we need?
Mm-hmm.
More high grades or more personality in the world? And I feel as if we need
More
way more
personality,
personality.
honestly.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because the personality is going to push the envelope. The personality is going to say, I don't want this. I could create my own. The personality is going to say, man, I'm 300 pounds. 2 years from now, I'm going to be 150.
Mm-hmm.
The personality says, man, I want more for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Now, get the grades, yes. But I want to know who you are as a person. And in full circle, I want to know who you are as a person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about the name champ.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about the father.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about the partner.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about the workout guru.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you as a person when the armor's off? Who are you when you open up that front door, you take off your stuff, you sit down, and your little 2 minutes you get to woosah? That's the person that I care about, because that person is the one that wakes up and has to put on the armor and go out there into the world.
Yeah.
Right?
Fight these battles
Because
for sure.
you're wearing a costume every time you leave your house. You know? You're literally wearing a costume.
Whether they know it or not. Yeah. Yeah.
You truly don't want to be. I tell people all the time, nobody wants to walk around.
Nah.
No, but they have to.
Nah. Yeah.
And when they get home, it's back to Fun Time USA, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
But
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
we have to wear armor when we go out there into the world. We have to be a certain way in order to survive.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm 32 years old. I'm pushing for wear the armor, but don't wear it every day. Pick and choose. You should be able to go to the beach without the armor on. You know, you're supposed to be able to sit in a restaurant with the armor on, without the armor on.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to be able to just sit amongst family and loved ones without the armor on. You should be able to just be your natural self. Now, it doesn't always work like that.
Nah.
But this is something that I'm pushing for. Because in the words of a wise man,
Mm-hmm.
I got no room for these pretenders.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
For sure. That's
you
a
know?
fact.
So, currently in life,
Mm-hmm.
how are you keeping yourself good? What are you doing for a living? What are some of the extracurriculars? What are the hobbies?
So damn, I wouldn't want to say it's a hobby. It's more of a what I'm currently building right now. Branding.
Okay.
Everybody is branding,
Yeah.
so to speak, but building a community outside of the community. So what I mean by that, fitness, staying healthy, motivation, inspiration, providing that mental health stability for men, and just I want to be able to give back in my own special way. And that's how I know how to give back, because growing up didn't have that. So that's how I'm contributing.
Yo, you're literally just feeding the inner child. The things you wanted as a kid.
Yeah.
These are now the dreams of you being an adult.
Yeah.
The level of fulfillment.
That's crazy you caught that.
but because I always say, like, it always goes back to me being in that 5th grade classroom, wondering why this guy's screaming at me and talking down to me. And then fast forward, I'm sitting there, a little girl like, Jesse, because they call me Jesse, whatever.
Yeah.
They're like, Jesse, how come you're always buying us pizza?
Yeah.
And I said, because I wanted pizza.
Yeah, as a kid. Yeah.
And it's not just, the pizza is obviously layered.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I knew what I wanted. And I always remember, you'll feed the inner kid. Whenever the kids in my classroom, maybe they're having a bad day. And I know when I have bad days, I wanted to be left alone. I give them a pass. So just go for a walk. Anybody stop you in the hallway, just tell me you're going to the bathroom. Put your head down.
Mhm.
Whoever comes in, I'll get in trouble. Don't even worry about it. Put your head down. Take
real.
that time.
That's real. Yeah,
You know,
it's needed.
maybe you having a rough day. I'll come to lunch with y'all. Sit down. We'll play tag. You understand? We'll play hide and seek. We'll play basketball outside because I know what I needed.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I feel as if likewise you're sharing in the same sentiment because you're giving back to the community within the community. Those small group of kids whose parents are working.
Yeah.
And they're outside. You understand what I'm saying? And it's like you see yourself in these little kids.
Correct.
You know, and you only hope better for them. And that to me is what makes you a special person instead of you just pulling them down the wrong path.
Right. That's no buenos. Like I said before earlier in the conversation, you know what I'm saying? You know what's love. How you know somebody really love you. When they're able to pull you out of them dark spaces.
The
when
destructive, yes.
When they're able to take you away from doing something destructive.
And you appreciate them to the moon for it, you know?
Yeah, of course.
You know,
like
go
ahead.
I'm listening. Yeah.
Right, so like I could say one of those people that helped me you know, see the light in those little dark tunnels I was going through. I gotta say my lady.
Oh well, now I mean we could get to the question, you know. Yeah. But this being, you know, the Just Takes a Village, you know, podcast, we tend to focus on the members of our village that kept us, you know, guided. That was like that light for us in the dark tunnel. Who are those people that gave you like the proverbial kick in the ass, like, yo, keep going, like I got you, like I'm here, like you're gonna fall, but I'm gonna make sure you don't hit your head. Who are those people for you? So you mentioned the lady.
My lady, my mother,
yes,
my sister, you know what I'm saying, my brother, you know what I'm saying, my daughter, my son. You know
family.
And
the unit,
yeah,
you know?
You know what I'm saying? A couple of the bros, you know what I'm saying? Like the homie Tones, the homie Bo, yeah, that's my homie Super Kick, you know what I mean? And yeah, it's a long list. I got a long list, and I'll obtain that over the years. That's just not something that just landed in my lap, but I'm fortunate and I'm happy that it did. You know what I'm saying? Because it gave me a universal way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
What's leadership mean to you?
Oh man, somebody that's willing to get down in the dirt with you. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not the type of person to sit there and go, well, yeah, you gonna do that, and I'm gonna just I'm not gonna take you. I'm not gonna take you somewhere I haven't been, and I'm not gonna let you walk somewhere or wherever through any trenches or any terror without me being there with you.
You know, in my last episode, I was talking to my homegirl from high school, and we were speaking about the difference between a leader and a boss. Now, a leader, as you're saying, a leader will be right there with you. A leader will motivate you.
Yeah.
But a boss will delegate.
Yeah.
You know, I don't feel as if one person can be both. My logic. Do you agree with that? Do you believe somebody can be both a leader and a boss, or do you see differences within the two?
It depends on the mindset, and it also depends on the perspective. Because all right, taking now people that's you're a boss. Being a boss now means like you establish something for yourself.
Absolutely.
And you know, you putting people on, you taking care of whatever you gotta take care of. But you know what I'm saying? Being a leader is, I feel like, and I hate to use that term, I feel. You know what I'm saying? My perspective on being a leader is just, I'm in the trenches with you. That's it. I'm riding with you through thick and thin, no matter what, through the ups and downs, the hoops and the hurdles. I'm here with you. So
you can only lead by example.
Yeah, you gotta lead by example. So yeah, I don't, can't be both. Can't be both.
It's either one or the other. Same thing, you know. And I'm pretty sure there's good perspective. Somebody out there is gonna be like, hey, well, you can actually be both. And listen, I encourage that conversation.
Yeah, more power to you.
But it's such a difference, you know. Leaders, to me, stand the test of time. Bosses can always be replaced.
That's true.
That one leader, it's kind of like what Toussaint Louverture means for Haiti. That guy was a leader. It's kind of like what Malcolm X meant for Black Americans. That guy's a leader.
Or Huey P. Newton.
Or Stokely Carmichael. Yeah, because Stokely Carmichael is from Trinidad. Stokely was the one that gave the group of people the idea, hey, use the panther.
Yeah, there we go.
You understand? So it's these leaders, they're the ones that go in history. The bosses, not really so much, you know? And when it comes to leadership, depending how good you are, is based on how many people you can sway. Because you kind of got to sell it to somebody.
Yeah.
You do. You got to sell people the belief system. You got to turn around and go, listen, I believe in this. You got to believe in it just as much, and this is what we're doing.
You got to make the sacrifice.
You do.
When I was reading Huey, Revolutionary Suicide by Huey P. Newton, his wife, she navigated the book. Well, she narrated the book. One thing that stuck out to me the most, that the revolutionary never gets to see his revolution
of course not
take off. He has to die for his revolution.
Of course.
And
martyrdom.
Like, oh man, I'm getting goosebumps. It was the realest shit I ever read. And it spoke volume to me, like. And I was taken aback, and I almost shed a tear reading that, because I'm like, damn, I'm never gonna get to see. I'm never gonna reap the fruits of my labor.
This is why you need to have faith.
Yeah, but
it's hard.
It's hard as hell.
They like,
bro.
here, like, here's some faith. Nah,
yeah,
you really need to. All right,
yeah.
This is the hope. This is the seed that we'll never see the tree of.
You know what's so crazy? It's crazy that you say about faith, because on my neck, I got "Fail over faith" tatted over my neck, and it's the I live by that testimony every day. That's my go-to. So whenever I have doubts and I'm looking in that mirror, a lot of people can't look in the mirror at themselves. They can't have that self-reflection.
Double entendre.
When I'm tunnel vision and I have doubts, because we all do.
Wow. Absolutely.
I'm good.
You know, the way you carry yourself and the way your social media is presented, you know, everybody always sees you, you know, the working out, the repetition, the motivational talks, the occasional bars. But, you know, when I was prepping for this interview, I was like, I want him just to be able to be comfy enough with being himself. And my goal, that was my goal for the interview. Not only can hope, you know, even after the interview is done and go back and look, I really hope, you know, you're comfy with yourself, and I really just hope you're proud of yourself. Because no one can just get up and just survive.
Yeah.
You understand? I could only imagine the amount of loss, the amount of baggage, the amount of tears that no one has seen. I can only imagine how much of that you went through. You know? And it's probably a fraction of what you really went through. And that's probably a fraction of what you feel comfy speaking on. You know? There's some things we just have to take with us as we transition into the next life. But the things that we get to speak about, you know, they always say, I pray you heal on the things you never said out loud. You know, and that's my personal goal for you. You know, it's a lot, and people carry a lot, but nobody wants to go, yo, I appreciate you. Nobody wants to say, yo, I'm proud of you. Nobody wants to say, yo, keep going.
I try to tell, like, for the people that tap in with me, as far as like on an outside note, like when they I might get a call or a text, and you know, a brother might need a vent, a sister might need the vent. They're going through, you know, what they're going through, and they just need words of encouragement, or they just need advice, or they just need a shoulder. You know, I try my hardest to.
You don't try, you do. Different
words. You're right. The spell casting.
A lot of the vocabulary.
Yeah, it gotta change for sure.
It needs to change. You know, we are no longer trying. We are doing.
We're doing. Yeah.
You know? And I hope you take from this interview that you've done enough. You're more than enough, and you are more than what other people think of you.
Damn, that's
deep. This is where we're at on this platform. We're not bringing celebrities up here. We're not bringing these fancy rich people up here. We want the regular people who got a regular education, trades, life experience, and we want to see how they use that to propel their lives in a positive direction. So from the platform, from myself, we want to tell you thank you for coming on. And it's just like that, man. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for watching the Just Takes a Village podcast.